This is a Ben Frank Connection presentation.
Aloha.
Hello.
Hi there, beachgoers.
What's happening?
What's going on, buddy?
Welcome.
Hey, it's another brand new episode of Opinion City. I'm your host, King Ralph. He's Parmesan, and we are back. Sean, what's going on, buddy? How's
What's
it going?
happening?
How's everything?
You look ready for the beach?
I am ready for the beach. Listen, it's a beautiful day here. It's about 217 degrees in this room. I feel like I'm on the surface of the sun.
Yeah,
but it's better than rain, so I'm all happy, man. But we are back. We've got a great episode for you today, as per usual.
Yes.
We're very excited. Make sure you stick around for the main event and top 5 movies today. We're very excited about that main event.
Super excited for that. Yes.
So before we get started, though, just a couple things. First, we want to thank our front row members over on Patreon, Dino93 and Adam the Guy. Big ups to you. Thanks for your support. They get lots of great things over there, including getting Wrestling with Life 5 days early. So, guys, if you want to be a Patreon, you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/OpinionCityPod and get all that cool stuff. So, in addition to that, we've got 3 free and easy ways for you to support the show. And number 1, hit that like button.
Hit
let
that
us know.
like button.
Yes, absolutely hit it.
You know that you like what we're seeing.
That's right.
What you're doing.
That's right.
You know.
So make sure you hit that like button. In addition, smash that subscribe button. I mean, listen, just
obliterate it.
Pull it out of the water onto the beach, climb up onto the lifeguard chair,
and elbow
give
drop
it, give it the elbow drop. Yep, just smash that subscribe button. That way you never miss anything we do here. And finally, share us with your friends and family. Let them know what you know. Yes. Find random people on the beach. Go out with one of those metal detectors, and when people ask you what you're doing, be like, "I've got a podcast for you." So just make sure you tell everyone what you know, that you love Opinion City.
Indeed.
Of course, if you want to take that a step further, guys, you can buy some merch.
Buy some merch.
Look at that fanny pack. Listen, you know where that fanny pack would look great? That fanny pack would look great at the beach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Especially
a nice looking swimsuit and a Opinion City fanny pack. You look amazing. So we've got links down in the description. Go check out all the great merch we've got, not just fanny packs, but we've got shirts, mugs, hats, everything you can think of.
Everything
Go check it out.
between.
Make sure you follow us at Opinion City Pod. That way you don't miss anything we're doing. Follow us at the Ben Frank Connect as well, so that you're not missing anything that Ben Frank does, including Wrestling with Life, Tabletop Baristas. We've got Witchcrafts by Lily with her shows. We've got Steven Chambers and Raz doing the AEW Dynamite post shows. So guys, you can follow all of that stuff over on the Ben Frank. And then finally, the most important thing you can do is follow and support our guests. You will see their links running along the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
And so make sure that you are following and supporting everything our guests do, because that's really why we do this here. We love introducing you to our guests, and so we want you to go out there and follow and support them. And with that, Sean, I think it's time that we bring in today's guest.
Today's guest, the Landshark himself, a Brew Vallon.
Hey guys.
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hanging out at the beach,
on location, on
location, looking good, looking nice and relaxed.
Super relaxed.
Not a cloud in the sky down here.
That's awesome. All right, so let's start at the beginning here. So what makes Brew Vallon the Landshark? Let's talk about that first.
Landshark.
Yes.
It was just an homage to kind of Jimmy Buffett, and coming up with the character of who Brew Vallon is, and and being at the beach in Margaritaville, and the idea of relaxing and not having to bust your tail at a 9 to 5. You know, everybody,
Right.
Nobody really wants to work. You know, they would rather be at the beach or their favorite vacation spot. So I think I'm coming up with Brew Vallon of more of it's just the idea of a good time. You know, finding your beach, to steal Corona's.
Right.
like
yeah.
Steal Corona's catchphrase.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, what about the name itself, Brew Vallon? Is that based off of your real name? Based off of a couple of things?
Yeah, it was a couple of things. Brew is my dog's name.
Oh, okay.
So when we got Brew, I was delivering beer, and my girlfriend was a bartender. So Brew is just kind of a collection of both of us.
Right.
And coming up with the beach character, I was like, Brew, Brew. It works.
Yeah.
Vallon, and I don't want to spoil anything.
Uh-oh.
No pun intended, but Vallon, my favorite movies, Gangs of New York.
Oh, okay.
Priest Vallon, and
Gotcha.
I really like that name. So when I knew I was coming up with Brew Vallon, I knew that was kind of the name I really wanted to go with.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about it is when you say like the Landshark Brew Vallon, it just rolls off the tongue. Like
Yeah.
it seems so natural just to say, the Landshark Brew Vallon.
Yeah, I was that name when I was coming up with it. I couldn't figure out like the beach name. I didn't want to use, I don't know. My real name's Michael. I mean, like Mikey, I could have used that maybe. I could have said
right.
Like I was thinking, like I said, Jimmy Buffett. I was thinking of like beach names.
Right.
I think Brew just works.
Yeah. Are you a fan of Jimmy Buffett? You a big fan? Yeah.
We took an anniversary to Margaritaville, New York one year.
Oh, nice.
Had a blast up there.
That's awesome.
Several bars on every floor of the hotel. Great food, pool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I felt home.
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean,
Sure.
You were white. Of course, it's Margaritaville, Jimmy Buffett,
Yeah.
Brews.
It's a good time. It's a good vibe.
Yeah.
I did a couple years ago. I did a margarita spoiler promo,
right.
and I kind of enjoyed that. And I'm like, well, that's kind of like where I wanted to go after that, anyway. So
right,
kind of just wrapped together. There you go.
That's awesome. I love it.
So I feel I have to ask: are you a fan of Landshark Lager?
Yes, I will drink some of that. My go-to right now is Coors Banquets.
Coors Banquets, okay.
Coors Banquet.
I think it's the bottle, It's
I'm stunned. Like I don't even know what to say. That Coors Banquet. Good Lord, man. All right, like okay. So I understand like Coors Light. And I will say something like Coors Light has very specific uses. So if it's like 175 degrees out and you just got done mowing 7 acres of grass and the Coors Light is like freezing cold in the refrigerator, it's great. But Coors Banquet, I mean, is it like, like look at me, I'm the classy guy with Coors, like
right.
It's the aesthetic of the little stubby bottle.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
I won't drink them out of the can though, just the bottle.
Just the bottle. All right.
The bottle. Okay.
That makes sense. So here's one for you. Now this is one that I've been drinking for a long time now, and most places I go have never even heard of doing this. And I was sitting in a bar one time, and the guy that was delivering to the bar saw me drinking a Blue Moon, and he's like, "Hey, you have got to try this. Instead of getting the orange peel with the Blue Moon, ask the bartender to put a shot of orange juice in your Blue Moon.
Oh.
It will change your life. You will never drink Blue Moon the same again." And everywhere I go, nobody's heard of it, but they all want to try it once they see me do it. And it's pretty amazing.
Maybe when I head out to the beach bar later, I'll
Do not forget that.
ask her for one.
Yeah, it's a whole new experience.
Do you have a favorite brewery?
Ooh, good one.
Ooh, that's a good one. I have so many favorite ones. It's just because like I worked, I've delivered beer for so long, and I've worked in that craft beer industry.
Sure.
I love Neshaminy Creek Brewery.
Very good.
Very good. Yeah.
Neshaminy Creek. I love the Alchemist up in Vermont.
Okay.
Heady Topper is probably one of the best hazy IPAs you can get. I love Russian River. The Pliny the Elder is one of my favorite IPAs as well.
Sean, do you have a favorite?
A favorite brewery?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know if you're like a brewery guy. Some people are, some people aren't.
there's so many around me like that are really close by. There's two. One in my hometown called Fry Brewery, and then there's one in the beach called Last Wave. They're both very good. Good.
I have been for the longest time, and I'm actually a member. Like you can buy a yearly membership, and they send you like all kinds of stuff in the mail. But I'm a huge Dogfish Head fan, and you can like they have all kinds of activities and stuff down there. They have like a bed and breakfast and all kinds of stuff you can do like when you join their yearly thing. But their 120-minute IPA for me is like the top of the line. Like that is my favorite beer ever. But I've been drinking a lot of Kona lately too.
There you go.
Because I've
very
been
good as well. Very good.
I've been different places, and a lot of them have had Kona on tap, and I've really kind of gotten a taste for that as well too. But yeah, awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your wrestling training here. You have had training at the Wrestle Factory. You've also had training at the Worldwide Wrestling Dojo. So what have your experiences been at both of those training facilities?
It was really good. Through two different experiences, two different vibes, but great training. Scott has been, a big influence on both. Cheeseburger went down to learn from him, brought him up. Same with at the Wrestle Factory, and just getting to learn from some great minds. I made some great friends at both of them, so I'm still glad that I get to see the same people that I've gotten to, like, as soon as from years ago when I started training. So it's just keeping the friendships, honestly, has been like some of the best parts, and you can't learn from no better. Like Cheeseburger is killing it.
Yeah,
we hear that from a lot of people.
Yeah, everyone
we hear very positive things.
It's just a great environment, He's real supportive. Anytime you have anything, he never hesitates to give his opinion, or makes you feel like you belong there, which is really nice.
He was one of those guys that seems universally like loved within the wrestling universe. Like, I have not heard one person say anything bad about Cheeseburger.
No, not at all. It's great. Because, like I said, like anytime, there's not like bothers him. As a person, like personally, I always feel like I'm annoying people.
Right.
Like, I don't get to feel like any dumb question that I have is just ever annoys them.
Right. I get that. I feel that.
Yeah, he seems like he's very interested in helping other people, which is something you don't always see all the time in wrestling. Even like he commented when he won his Labor of Love championship, he was one of the best moments of that for him was having his trainees there with him. The ones that had been on the show and whatnot. So you get this sense from him that he really cares about more people just as much as he cares about his own career, which is really good to see in wrestling. Yeah.
So you describe your wrestling style as lucha style, but with a beach twist.
Yes.
Can you maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
In recent matches, I've been adding my beach towel. We'll work on a couple sequences Scott had taught when he was up, and I was like, hey, I could add a little beach towel to this to make it work. And it ended up being one of my finishers. I'm gonna do a little weave through with the beach towel DDT.
Nice.
Nice. I like it.
That's really cool. That's
Get that
really cool.
a little bit. That'll be great.
So, for people that are seeing you for the first time now here on the show, which, if this is your first time seeing Brew Vallon, what is wrong with you? You should be seeing him in a wrestling ring, and as soon as you're done listening to this show or watching this show, you should go find out where he's going to be and go see him. But
Yes.
This idea of a beach style and a beach twist, everything about you is very beachy.
Yes.
You come to the ring as though you made a wrong turn on the way to the beach.
Right.
So talk a little bit about maybe like the beach aesthetic and like some of the things you do, like your look and things you bring to the ring with you, because I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, when I really wanted to commit to this character, I wanted to dive into it. I didn't really I started wearing the beach shorts and the water shoes and coming down with the towel, and I really wanted to stand out. I think that was, and a lot of you could bring any wrestler on here, and their coach is always like, you got to stand out, So when I knew I wanted to break off into this character, I said, okay, what can I do to stand out? And I was like, watching the indies and just seeing who's out there, and I didn't see that many beach characters, and I thought I could do it because, with that saying, somebody says it's just you turn to 11, and I was like, well,
Right.
I love the beach, I'm here now, but it's just, let's just do it. It's just, Brew is me, and let's put me in the ring and see what I can do.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
And you will probably be seen very soon. HTW has their Boiling Point shows coming out every other Sunday now over on the High Tension Wrestling YouTube. And not to spoil anything, but you hunted. We can't. Yeah, we get that keeps coming up, but not to spoil anything. But you have a bit of a argument with one of your tag team partners over your use of a beach chair.
Yes.
Which I thought was amazing.
Max, one of my good friends, but sometimes he's had a hard time just chilling and relaxing. He's all pissed.
Right.
Yeah, he does not look like a beach chair kind of guy.
No,
we'll get him there. The more we work together, the more maybe relaxed we'll get.
Yeah, you never know. The beach vibe could rub off on people like that.
Right.
Nice weather, cold drink.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So we know that you obviously used to be a wrestling fan growing up, but you said that for a time you dropped out of it. What about the product at that time made you kind of drop out of the scene?
So I think so. When I stopped watching wrestling, I was going into high school, and a lot of my friends at the time weren't wrestling fans. So I kind of when I was, trying to grow and find out who I was in high school, it really kind of just fell to the wayside for a few years. And I happened to come home one night, and my brother was watching it. I was like, "Oh, you're watching wrestling now?" And he was like, "Dude, you gotta watch this guy, Daniel Bryan." I was like, "All right, let me give it a shot." And it was his Road to WrestleMania 30, and it just hooked me back in. And it just brought all those childhood memories of watching it with my dad and him and my aunt, and it was just like, oh yeah, I still kind of love this thing.
Right.
And I was at work one day, and I just was out on the road, and when I found that Chikara was so close to me, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna try it.
Right.
And as soon as you get in there the first time, it's just I want to do it all the time.
Right.
So, so growing up, obviously, a big wrestling fan. Who were some of your favorites growing up?
Yeah, my dad and I, we love The Undertaker.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love The Undertaker. My brother was more of a Triple H guy.
Okay.
Than us. Stone Cold. I love the New Age Outlaws.
Nice.
I love the Road Warriors. I was always a big character guy. So all the characters really drew me in. I loved Ultimo Dragon. And I also love those guys like Eddie, and Dean Malenko.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Very well rounded all around.
Yeah, I like the idea of enjoying characters, because obviously someone who portrays a very character driven wrestler, and that was really a great time for characters, because when you had the WCW and WWE Monday Night Wars, and the big difference, I think, if you look at today's wrestling and wrestling back then, is that everybody had these characters, and so even when you looked at like mid card and lower tier guys, they all had these storylines because they were all such characters, and I think that's a really good way to kind of look at wrestling and kind of build from that.
Yeah, especially with they all had jobs too. Like that
Yeah.
was a little bit older than I am, but
Yeah.
Watching it back, like the hockey player and the plumber and the
Yeah.
it's funny. Like I enjoy it. I'm a big movie guy myself, so anything character wise, I just kind of really draws me into it.
Now, was there a specific memory growing up that you can recall when you're watching it with your family that was this is the moment that like I am hooked on this show?
Yes, I do.
Yay.
As we were talking, King Rafa, you were saying your wife works for the cable company. So back, you probably remember this, back in the late '90s, for the pay-per-views, you'd have to get these things. My dad, I don't know how he got it, but he got this little connector that would unlock the pay-per-views.
Oh,
Probably shouldn't be telling the story. So we hooked it up, and we had the Hell in a Cell with Undertaker and Mankind. And just,
Okay.
like, wow. Sorry, Dad.
No, that's so. I think we may have talked about this once before on the show, but a little bit further back from that, you used to get these cable boxes, and they would have like the big rubber buttons on the top. So you would have like one for up channel and one for down channel. And so there used to be this thing called the penny trick. And so you would push the up button and stick a penny in that it holds the button down. So then as soon as it got to the pay-per-view channel, you would push the down button and stick a penny in to hold that one down. And then the pay-per-view would just unscramble.
Oh, wow.
I went through like 10 years. I went through like 10 years of that. I'm probably going to jail after this, but I went through like 10 years of pay-per-views like that. Seriously. Oh, great. Yeah, there you go. I'll listen. When I get picked up, I'll be like, I'll say to the judge, I'm like, listen, there's this guy. His name is Brew Vallon. You might know him as Mikey. If you put us in the same cell, I promise we'll behave.
We're both stealing cable in the late night.
Right.
Yes. We have a lot more in common than we thought we did.
Right.
Oh boy. Oh, the shenanigans have begun. All right. So, was there maybe something about the wrestling product back then that kind of made you stop watching for a while, or was that more just kind of like life happening and sometimes you just kind of fall out of it?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. Maybe it was like going towards like I guess the ruthless aggression era, they call it, and like I was growing up, and like I said, my friends weren't really watching it, so I was kind of like, yeah, all right, let me, it fell by, and I did miss some great wrestling though, live. Now that I get the chance to go and watch it now, but that whole Summer of Punk, I never watched it.
Oh man,
I missed
good.
That.
Yeah, definitely worth going back and checking it out for sure. So, how long would you say did you stop watching wrestling for?
Probably like 10 years, I guess, right?
Oh wow!
Okay,
you were really out of the game for a while there.
No, it would come on, you would watch it a little bit, turn it off. But yeah, I missed that entire like last part of the early 2000s and up until when Daniel Bryan had that run. That's when
Right. That's crazy to me.
So here's and I mean we have specific questions that we want to ask, but every once in a while something will pop into my head. What would you say, as opposed to like being a fan, being an actual wrestler? Do you feel like you watch more wrestling because you're studying wrestling, or do you feel like you watch less wrestling because maybe you're putting more time into the actual learning and perfecting of the craft?
Yeah, that's. I would say that's a little correct. That's correct. Because you'll be on training. You'll go to training Monday nights.
Mm-hmm.
You won't watch it as wrestling, and then you have to go back on maybe like a Saturday or whenever you have some time and rewatch it. But then like you watch it and then you're watching the moves and you're like, oh, that's cool. Why they put that there? And WrestleMania, I got to just watch it, and I just enjoyed it as a fan again. Just the main event, just Cody Roman, and then all the surprise, the Undertaker, names coming back, and it felt like a fan again, which is really nice. Because sometimes, when you're doing that, and like any profession, probably, there's probably football players who don't really get to watch football, kind of enjoy it as a fan without being like, quarterback could have threw it here and missed the D's. So the chances when you do get it, it's really nice.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, not just that, but there's so much wrestling content out there now.
Yeah.
To try and keep up with things, your mainstream stuff throughout the entire week. And then now, like, anybody who wants to be a fan of an indie company and lives nowhere near them can be a fan, because there's IWTV and Thriller TV and things like High Tension Wrestling that are, getting small regional companies all over the country and all over the world. And it can get really hard to keep up with all that stuff.
Yeah, there's so much, but it's a great time to be a fan, because anywhere you want to find wrestling, you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's anywhere. So speaking of wrestling, let's talk about your career a little bit. Mm-hmm. You've only been wrestling now for about 4 years, but in your 4 years, do you have a favorite match that you've been a part of so far?
Yes. One of my favorite matches, and it came from me. One of the Camp Leapfrog shows a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
I got to do a Buried Alive match against CC Boost.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, they came to me like, "Well, what are you thinking?" I was like, "Oh man, I really just want to do a Buried Alive match." But I said, like, when the Undertaker was one of my favorite characters, like that match, watching it as a kid was crazy to me. I want to do that. And they were like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do it." Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Let's go. That was definitely one of my favorite matches in my career.
Being an opponent of CC Boost, is that a little rough? Is he a little crazy?
Sometimes I can't say no to dumb ideas, and I know.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
And we ended up in a Buried Alive match.
There you go. So is there a wrestler that you haven't wrestled yet that is maybe on your radar, someone you're really like interested in wrestling?
Like a fantasy wrestler? Can it be like
anybody you want to wrestle? It could be as crazy as somebody who's been gone for 30 years, whatever,
Or it could be someone that you actually like have your eyes on that you want to face. Yeah,
it could be somebody that lives down the beach from you. Who knows?
Right.
I know it's not too far. There's probably a lot of people who say it, and it's not too far out of the box. But I'd like to wrestle Orange Cassidy. I think.
Okay.
I think Brew and Orange Cassidy could have a fun.
That sounds like a fun match already.
Moments.
Yeah. That does sound fun.
What would be even crazier is if you do Orange Cassidy versus Brew Vallon at the Attic Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Whoa.
There you have it.
Just saying. It would make the perfect sense all around.
Oh, yeah.
All around.
I would love that.
That would be a lot of fun.
So you mentioned Mania earlier. Talk to us about your experience in Philly during Mania. You were at almost every show that I saw you at throughout the week. What What were some of the matches that you saw that week that you think everyone should go out and seek?
The show that I ran and you had on South Street was
Suplex Mania.
fun. Yeah, I didn't get to stay for the whole show, but just seeing the crowd and them shutting the block down, it was just like a giant party out there.
For real.
Anybody can go and watch it just for the atmosphere, and hopefully like get a bunch of steam for where that could happen again.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends were on it too, so it was cool to see like Danger and Worker Ant and some of the Catch Point kids. I haven't been to Catch Point, but I've met some of the kids. It's nice to see them out there too, getting through the crowd.
Yeah, there was definitely a massive crowd. You couldn't see like beyond the ring. That was it. It was
just having like random people walk up who may not have just been seeking out wrestling and staying and watching it, just hearing how cool it was. It was awesome. It was awesome to see.
Were you also at Mania?
No, I stayed home.
Okay.
I got to stay home and, like I said, watch it as a fan. I was out on the porch, had the TV outside, and
that's fun.
Nice. That's cool.
Out,
So now, are you far from the Philly area? Are you around the Philly area? Like, were you there for anything else during the week, or?
Just besides training, I grew up in Northeast Philly, and I moved to South Jersey, so I was just a touch outsides.
Nice.
Just I have my day job, and I knew the traffic, and I wasn't. I went to the Labor Love show, but other than that, I just kind of just wanted to enjoy the week.
Yeah.
Were you at both shows, or were you at either Russell John or Euphoria?
I was at Russell John.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Both great shows, mind you. Just one was more wet than the other one.
Yeah. Fun atmosphere though.
Absolutely.
Really kind of fun way to kind of kick off our wrestling part of WrestleMania weekend. But it was just, Philly was a lot of fun. I will say that.
It was.
We had a great time there. But I remember commenting to my wife after the weekend was over, because I was like, at one point in my life, I thought I was just going to move to Philly, get like the smallest apartment I can, buy like Eagles and Philly season tickets, and just work and do that. But after being in Philly all week, I said to my wife, I'm like, I don't think I would have survived. The traffic alone would have driven me to
crazy.
Yeah, it would have driven me to jump off a building. It can be a bit intense.
Right.
Especially with they had over 200,000.
Oh yeah.
In attendance there, just
So it was
nuts,
and it was every night of the week too. Wrestling started on Monday night, and it went through the whole week. So it was just, good for Philly, but wow, it was a mess at times.
It was awesome to see. I hope it does come back. It's a great city for wrestling. Like just
absolutely
pocket of the area is Philly, Jersey, and for it to come back and catch more eyes than it did. Great.
Well, and you see a lot of your bigger name wrestlers that have traveled the country extensively with big companies will tell you that Philly is within top 3 wrestling cities in the country, because they just they come out and support. They are impassioned fans. They chant Gatorade at Logan Paul. Which, that was my favorite chant of the entire weekend. Of all the things they said, just chanting Gatorade at Logan Paul.
It's a great city. I'm a big Philly guy, so I love my Philly sports, and it's just, there's nothing like being in a Philadelphia crowd. It doesn't matter. Ball game, baseball game, wrestling. It's I understand it's not for a lot of performers or athletes, but when you hear it, I don't know how it doesn't excite you to just go out there and give it what you got.
Absolutely.
I was down for the Super Bowl parade when they won the Super Bowl, and just
Yeah.
being in the middle of that crowd. Now, like I was right at the last turn before you headed down to the art museum, so I was like right across the street from the library, and it was just madness, but it was such a good madness. You know what I mean? Like it's just a different atmosphere being a Philly fan
Right.
and being there with other
Right.
Philly fans.
Yeah, it was a great time. I had a blast down there.
Oh yeah.
So you've also wrestled under a mask as
Oh,
well.
here, it's a spoiler. Here it comes.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
Under the name, the spoiler.
Spoiler.
So what was
who
the
saw that
concept? What was the concept behind the spoiler?
So, you know, coming from Chikara, you know, when you were getting on a oh,
I love it.
struggles of being at the beach, huh? Hold on, let me. So when it came time for me to debut, you know, Mike came up to me and was like, "Hey, I need you to learn everything you need to know about the spoiler." I said, "Okay." So, you know, I went on and Googled, and you know, he was, you know, a wrestler in the 70s and the 80s. And I found out he did train The Undertaker, so that was
Oh wow, okay,
so that was pretty cool, you know. Just
that's pretty
being
cool. Yeah.
myself. So I said, "Oh, cool. So am I gonna do like a character like the spoiler?" And he said, "No, you are the spoiler." Okay. Makes it easy. I'll just do what he did. So yeah, I did that for a few years, and I had a lot of fun doing the spoiler. And like I said, we had the Buried Alive match, and I got to wrestle guys like Brian Johnson. I did a lot as the spoiler, and I had fun. And it's just then I just wanted to see what I could do on my own, and that's kind of where I came up with Bro.
Right.
So, in thinking about, you know, being the spoiler, and obviously, you know, that was kind of early on in your time in Chikara. Do you enjoy being a masked wrestler as maybe, you know, other than being like Brew Vallon now? But did you enjoy your time as a masked wrestler?
I did. They had the downfall. You know, I had getting all my hair and the beard in it.
Right.
It's a little bit of a nightmare and sweating. But for me personally, I don't know how much sense it makes as being a professional wrestler, but just me as a person, I have a hard time being around crowds a lot, and to like get comfortable with people. So I think going out there early in my career under a mask helped give me confidence to stand in front of a bunch of people and have them watch me. To where I gained that confidence, and I was like, "Oh, I think I can go out there now without one."
Right. Hello, wind.
Yes. So, other than professional wrestling, let's kind of step outside of professional wrestling for a little bit. Tell us what kind of things the Landshark likes to do in his spare time that are not professional wrestling.
Obviously, I love being at the beach and outside during the summertime. Like I said, I'm a big Philly sports fan, so when I'm not watching wrestling, it's probably the Eagles or the Sixers or the Phillies right now. Spending some time with my girlfriend and my dog. You know, just staying home now at this point. You know, being on the road and being away from them, like everybody will tell you, you know, stinks sometimes.
Right.
But until you get wrestling and you're driving home, you're like, all right, I miss my little family.
Right.
So when I don't have to work or any other obligations where you got to be somebody, I just really enjoy spending the time with them. And kind of like separating like work from just having that little space at home.
So is it true? We just got a comment from Vince Fresh, that you rescued 7 puppies from a burning building.
I would have.
Then wrestled a 60-minute Iron Man match later that night.
I would have if I found myself in that situation. I'm a big animal guy. Steve Irwin was a favorite of mine growing up. I love watching his show.
Hmm.
I think in another life I might have been a zoologist.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Side personal story of mine.
Wow.
I always tell my girlfriend, like, if we ever get enough land, we're probably gonna have a small zoo.
A small zoo.
Small zoo. Take care of.
What? So is that like your dream house? Is you want to have a farm, like a zoo, like a whole bunch of animals to take care of in the backyard? And
Yeah, some animals. I have the dog, and I have a turtle that's like 15 years old now.
oh wow, okay.
Yeah. I have some tortoises, maybe. And definitely a wrestling ring somewhere around there too.
Right.
Yeah.
I can see it now. You know, the Brew Vallon Training Center and Turtle Sanctuary. Wow. So talking about, you mentioned, you know, just being home, and do you enjoy the traveling part of wrestling, or is that something that is more of a hassle to you?
It's not a hassle. I enjoy traveling. I travel with Junie Underwood a lot.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
And we'll play a bunch of butt rock and just
A bunch of butt rock.
yeah, that's the genre. The internet said so. Now I can't stop calling it butt rock.
Are you sure about that? Like, you didn't like read it wrong? Wait, did you say Nickelback?
Yeah, I think they're classifying them as butt rock.
Butt
rock.
Okay.
Man.
Or butt rock.
I'm gonna have to.
Wow, you learn something new
I'm gonna
every
have to search
day.
that
I
later
mean,
on.
I think that Nickelback is butt. I mean, if you play most of their songs, it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. But like,
So, like, okay, now we got to do a rabbit hole. What
oh yeah,
what bands qualify under butt rock?
I think it'd be same as the dad rock, the Creeds, the Hinder, the Nickelbacks.
Okay.
I think Fozzy might fall under the.
Okay.
I don't know. There's probably a list on Reddit of all the butt rock.
no, okay. So we contacted the Opinion City crack research staff, the crack team we've got here, and they have found that the Houston Press has put out a list of the top 10 butt rock bands.
Here we go.
So we're just going to run down this quickly.
Let's run down the list real quick.
Number 10 is Theory of a Dead Man.
Okay.
That sounds pretty butt. 3 Days Grace at number 9.
Okay.
Puddle of Mud at number 8.
Wow.
I can agree with that. Now this one might be a little divisive. Chevelle at number 7, because I know people are either like really into Chevelle or really not. But those that are really into it are really into it.
Right.
Number 6 is a band called Anberlin. I don't know that I've ever heard of them.
Don't know of them. No.
No. Number 5 is, now this one hurts. Number 5 is Breaking Benjamin. I don't believe they're like the least butt rock of all the butt rock bands. Hang on. Where is the rest of the? Oh, here, we got to go to the next page for the
Next page.
All right. So as we lament Breaking Ben being on there, number 4 is 30 Seconds to Mars, because they're just like, I don't know, why people just love Jared Leto. That's what
right.
it is. They don't care about the band.
They just love Jared Leto.
Number 3 is Stone Sour.
Okay.
Again, I'm not sure I understand. Number 2 is Seether.
Okay.
And number 1 is Shinedown.
Wow. Okay.
I don't even see Nickelback on there.
I know they're not even on the list.
Well, this is the Houston Press, so it might not be the most like musically acceptable source here.
Who knows?
They could have just been, but butt rock, man. Yeah, you have opened up a whole new world. We're gonna have to do like an Opinion City special on butt rock.
Butt rock.
Wow, that's insane.
And I'll come on and we can talk about some butt rock.
Of course,
yes,
we can do.
I'm sure you guys are a riot together. I can only imagine what the two of you are like.
I love traveling with Junie. He gets so excited about wrestling. I've never met anybody so excited about it. All the way up and all the way back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face when he comes out though. Like there is a level of excitement to him. Like somehow just being alive and being Junie Underwood for him is exciting enough to like throw him into fits of excitement.
We went out to 880 in Pittsburgh on Thursday, and we had Troy Locke with us. And Troy was like, "What do you want to listen to?" I said, "Well, throw the Creed and Nickelback on. Get used to it."
Throw on that butt rock.
My wife and I were supposed to go see Creed this summer. We had tickets and we had to sell them. She's having some surgery this summer, so we kind of had to sell our tickets so we could get her in for her surgery. But wow. Man, this butt rock thing has me thrown off. Like, yeah, I'm thrown off my game now. All right, so
all right. Hang on. So let me ask you this now.
Oh no,
could we ever see Brew Vallon become a Lost Boy?
A Lost Boy?
Ooh, that's
I got to tag with the Lost Boys in Canada a couple months ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Maybe I'm an honorary.
You're an honorary Lost Boy.
we could agree with that, but since it happened in Canada, we're not sure it counts.
Right.
So you get that match again in the States, we'll talk. But when we do our special on Canadian wrestling, then we'll be like, there was a match one time that I think Brew Vallon is an honorary Lost Boy. Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, oh boy! Between Lost Boys and Butt Rock and everything, this is just wow. All right, so let's rein this back.
Reel it back in.
A big beach term. All right, so do you have some goals for 2024 as far as the Landshark Brew Vallon goes?
My goal with Brew is to get out there more and do new states. New countries, new promotions. One of my goals is I definitely want to be in the Super 8 one year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Definitely one of my tournament goals.
That's awesome.
I don't know if championships is as important as the memories for me now. I just want to.
Okay.
I like that.
Some dream matches of my friends and some names in the industry. I think to me that's more important than championships. I mean, the championships are nice as well.
I mean, of course, but you're saying that you don't necessarily need them to be happy in your wrestling career, which is cool, and not many people I've heard of say the opposite of they want belts. I'm here for the ride, and that's cool. That's cool.
You have some excellent supporters here that want to be just like you. Look at that. When I grow up, I want to be like Brew Vallon, slamming brewskis and kicking redacted.
Redacted.
Yes. So thank you, Joe Switz, for your excellent comment and chiming in. So talking about goals, is there maybe a state that you haven't wrestled in yet that you would really like to go and wrestle?
I'd like to go down to Florida, I think.
Okay.
I think there's a couple Margaritavilles down there.
I wonder why.
Yes.
Jeez. Beaches as far as the eye can see. Yeah. Brews as far as the eye can see.
Warm weather.
Warm weather. Yeah, right.
Ocean. Bring my hair with me.
Right.
There you go. If you
just don't use it in the ring.
No.
Yeah. Leave it. If you're tagging with Max, leave it outside.
Last year I got to do Canada, and I went out to Washington.
Oh wow!
To wrestle, which was really cool. So this year I definitely want to knock off some states.
You should have a goal of just hitting as many beach dates as you can.
There you go. Yeah,
that should be like the Landshark's goal is to just hit up all the beaches, the beaches.
See, you need to get to a beach and you need to make your own version of the meme where, you know, Brock Lesnar has the shark up for the F5.
Right.
Brew Vallon, you know, getting ready to tussle a shark. Yeah, that's what we need this year.
Being able to wrestle on a show at a beach would be really cool. I don't know how they are out there, but beach, please.
Like the old WCW days where they had like bash the beach at the beach.
At the beach.
Yeah.
That's if you had and you can say where you're at right now, which is fine answer as well, but if you had your choice of living anywhere, where would you want to live?
Well, I'm down Wildwood right now in Jersey.
Okay.
It's not it's not the Bahamas, but
no.
As a Northeast Philadelphia kid, Wildwood is South Jersey's a staple.
Mm-hmm.
The Northeast back, so it was just always something we did and something we keep doing.
Right.
It's a dumb little post-retirement goal, but I'm gonna buy a hot dog cart and live at the beach and just sell hot dogs all day.
That is not a bad goal at all.
That's
not a bad goal at all.
Listen, I gotta tell you, it's very strange that you said that, because I've been telling people this for a while, but my post-retirement goal is to buy a hot dog bun cart and move down to the beach. So I think that we could work something out.
There you go.
Instead of each other, you know. I think it could work.
Oh yeah, I think so too. We can talk business after.
Talk business later.
Yeah, we'll talk business after.
All right, before we get into your top 5, let's ask the same question that we ask all of our guests at the end. So, in your opinion, what does pro wrestling mean to you, and what is the significance that it's had on your life?
Pro wrestling, it just gave me pro wrestling as a kid. It watching it with my brother and my dad, it just gave me some great memories and some great times in my life. And I still, when I get to go over to my parents' house, me and my dad will watch it still. So it's something that we still, I'll do in my 30s. And when I'm wrestling, I just want to give that to somebody in the crowd. Give that moment of just enjoying something together. And something that, like the father, son, daughter, whoever, whoever it is, friends, something, just give somebody a good time and some great memories just to kind of hold on to. I'm a big, like I said earlier, I'm a big memories guy. So just sharing those memories are so important to me. And that hopefully I can give that to somebody else.
Sure.
If that's the only thing I get out of wrestling, I'm happy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, we are going to take a short break. And when we get back, we are going to have our top 5 main event with top 5 movies when we return right here on Opinion City.
All right, welcome back to the Opinion City podcast. We are getting into the main event. I'm super excited because I'm a huge movie guy. I know Ralph's a big movie guy. You're a movie guy. We're doing top 5 favorite movies. I'm excited. Let's dive in.
So at number 5?
Let's go.
So number 5, it's not a great movie by any sense, but I love it. For me, I love how bad it is and like where that franchise went and that character, and I just love it. Is Jason X.
Oh, okay.
No. Listen, that is not a bad movie.
I love that movie. I thought that movie was great.
I love it. It's so far out from what Jason Voorhees
I mean,
was.
that's fair. They were in space, but like still,
They had so many creative and good kills in that.
Oh,
movie.
absolutely.
It was fun.
Yeah, exactly. It was a fun horror movie.
I think it's true for most horror franchises. Just the more installments there are, the more of a caricature there becomes. So,
I mean, look at Freddy Krueger.
yeah,
He went from being this serious nightmare killer to let's see how crazy and over the top his kills can get. Like,
enjoy it. Because it's so ridiculous that it's great. Like Jason Takes Manhattan was ridiculous too.
Yeah.
The great Fazio.
Right.
It's like Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Like
Right.
the Hood was great, but Back to the Hood was nonsense.
It's like I said, it's not on. It's not the top 5 Oscar movie.
Right.
By any at all.
Right.
Yeah. Great choice.
So number 4 would be Animal House.
Okay.
Love me some
Great
Animal
movie.
John
Great
Belushi,
movie.
One of my favorites. I love him in on SNL and Blues Brothers.
Of course.
Dan Aykroyd. It's just and I kind of put a little Animal House in the Brew Vallon a little bit.
Nice.
Animal House is a rite of passage. Everybody needs to see it at some point.
At least once. At least once.
I think there was that one Simpsons episode where they said Homer Simpson watched it five or six times that night.
Right.
But I feel like I've had it on repeat in my apartment a few times like that.
This is terrible to say, but when the horse falls over, like it makes me laugh so hard every time, and it's terrible to say, but it's so funny.
I think my favorite scene is when they hand him the Jack Daniels bottle, and he chugs it and smashes it. And he's like, "Thanks, man, I needed that."
Yeah. Oh, I like when he smashes the guitar on the steps too while the guy's singing. Oh, good times.
That's it. Now, moving into number 3, I went back and forth between the first and the second one. I think I'm going to go to the second one. D2 The Mighty Ducks.
Oh, okay.
Good
Big
call.
Mighty Ducks.
Good call. That's a good one. I haven't
Big
seen that one in a minute, but I love that one. Yeah.
That's
I was a
awesome.
big hockey fan too growing up.
Mhm.
So growing up in the late 90s when that was playing, it was always on VHS.
Yeah.
I do have the original Purple Ducks jersey at home too.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
There's a certain age group that movie really holds a very special place for. Like that whole series of movies just really hits in a different way for a certain age bracket.
Number 2 would be Gangs of New York.
Okay.
There it is.
I love Daniel Day-Lewis as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I think he's probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest actor of all time.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch his movies, I don't think Daniel Day-Lewis. I think character.
Right.
Watch Abraham Lincoln, and you're like, oh wow, there's President Lincoln. In
Yeah.
New York, and he's Bill the Butcher. There's not a lot of actors I think you could watch their movie and be like, oh, that's that character. Unless
Right.
First, it's this guy playing this character, and I think I'm trying to do that in my own wrestling. Like I don't want to just be in like, oh, this is Mike playing for, that's Brew Vallon.
Right.
Do it. And that movie had some great actors too. Leo,
Mm-hmm.
John C. Reilly was in it.
Mhm.
It was just I enjoyed the movie.
I'm not a massive Leo fan, but I will say like Gangs of New York was a really great performance for him.
Yeah.
I think he's been good in a lot of he definitely should have gotten more awards than he did. I think Leo's up there for me too, and like my top actors. Side tangent.
Sure.
Right.
I enjoyed his movies as well. And I think number 1 would be The Godfather.
All right.
Real long movies, but they were just growing up. My dad always had like there's always like The Godfather on. I think Thanksgiving weekend, the AMC plays it nonstop for
always.
Mhm.
Yeah.
with the commercial there all day.
I was obsessed with the mob stuff for a long time, like right around the time when The Sopranos really hit, and just getting back into things like the Godfather movies, Casino, stuff like that. That really they're these amazing classics. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Al Pacino is one of my favorite actors as well. So
there you go.
Watching The Godfather, maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe my dad shouldn't have showed me it as a child.
Right.
Well,
I'm sure that horse scene terrified you.
Yeah, we call that questionable parenting, but not enough to call like child services.
Right.
Yeah.
Made sure I watched all the good movies, and then just learning about Al Pacino after that, and watching like Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
And the other stuff he was in, Carlito's Way.
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
Oh,
great
so
movie
good.
Too.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
There you go. Nice.
There you go. So, what is your favorite Al Pacino movie?
My favorite. Carlito's Way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
He was great in The Godfather, and The Godfather is my favorite movie. But I love Carlito's Way too. I thought that was great, and I enjoyed him in Scarface.
Of course.
Scarface.
Sure.
Yeah.
Another movie I probably shouldn't have had on as a child.
Probably not.
Yeah. No.
All those mob movies early in life.
You saw a lot of pretty rough things early on in your childhood.
Yeah. Quite the cinematic childhood you had there. Can imagine you had a lot of sleepless nights.
I don't know. I think that was one of my little dream. I would have been like, I would have loved to have been in movies too. Maybe not wrestling, maybe acting, but all genre. I was just enjoy. I don't know, content. I don't know. Is that the word?
Yeah, no.
Right. Yeah,
that makes sense though.
A really good movie that wraps you in. Nice, good story.
Yeah, I get hooked that way to like certain television shows because they give you these characters that you get these really intense emotional attachments to, and I think it's the same thing with why people gravitate towards certain wrestlers.
Yeah,
because they get this emotional attachment to the wrestler. I mean, it's why, like, for as silly as some of the stuff that Orange Cassidy does, people really gravitate to him because they get invested and they want to see him do well. And that's why movies and TV shows kind of hit like that.
I love TV too. Have you ever watched Barry?
I have to watch Barry.
No, I've heard a lot of good things.
I've heard good things about it. Yeah,
it was no spoiler, just the level of like tension that and it just kept going like this, and I was like, oh man, it had me racing.
Right.
So the writing's good.
That for me was Baby Reindeer. I still haven't gone past the first 2 episodes because of how much has happened in 2 episodes. And I'm like, yo, this is a lot for me. I may need to take a break and then go back into it.
That was a lot.
Yeah, dude.
I love that. I love comedy stuff too. I love comedy movies. Growing up, the Austin Powers and the Super Bands, and just the funny is the Animal House, just the old SNL stuff, Caddyshack and the Chevy Chases and the Bill Murrays.
Yeah.
All right, so I have 2 questions for you. This is not one of the questions, but are you a sci-fi fan?
I dabble in the sci-fi.
Okay. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Okay.
Ooh. All right. Okay. No real wrong answer there. It just says a lot.
I think I would catch some Star Trek stuff. If you turn the television on, it was playing.
Mhm.
Like I never really got into it. Not to say that it was, I don't. I know there's a giant Star Wars Star Trek debate. I don't want to.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Uh,
There's,
Where I
people
don't
get people get too wrapped up. It's like when we talk about tribalism in wrestling. There's tribalism
Yeah.
in movies as well. So
Same thing.
like,
Yeah.
you can't. They tell you, well, you can't be a Star Wars and a Star Trek fan. Well, sure you can. Like you can like whatever
Right.
you want.
Yeah.
But okay, so here's question number 2. And we've asked this a number of times to other people that we've talked to movies about, but I really like this question. So imagine Desert Island. You can only have one film series with you, and here they are. You have to pick one of these 3.
Okay.
Either Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, or Jurassic Park. You can only pick one franchise.
Come with the tough ones.
That is a tough one. I agree.
Yep.
Might be the toughest question I ever ask anybody.
Right. Right.
Back to the Future.
Oh, good call.
Good
Thank you.
answer.
I am-
Good answer.
I'm a huge Back to the Future nut because I love
Good answer.
I love everything time travel.
Right.
And the DeLorean was so iconic.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Good answer.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, that has been an amazingly fun top 5. Thank you
Yes.
for bringing that today. Before we get out of here, though, we are going to talk about some upcoming events.
Yes. I will be up in.
All right. So, why don't laugh? Don't laugh.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was too
It
good.
happens. We're having real difficulties with the upcoming events video, but that's all right because
I
we're
hope you
here
didn't get
now.
through your whole list without
No,
stopping.
I got through one and then I saw you muted.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So
Restart.
Tell us what you've got coming down the pipeline.
I've got ETWA this coming month in Vermont.
Okay.
I have Supernova Wrestling coming in July, and I'll be challenging for the open weight title.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be at the Labor of Love and the LVAC show at the Neshaminy Creek.
Hey.
Well, which I'm super excited for. I definitely want to do more brewery shows. Obviously.
Okay.
Very cool. You mentioned it before, but you are actually going to be in Vermont facing one of our previous guests, one Johnny Pierce.
Yes. Johnny Pierce.
The cold hard truth.
The cold hard truth. I saw that. I was like, huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They gave me the big man in the first round.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
I don't mind being the underdog. I grew up in the underdog city, so I'd rather have it. Rather have the underdog title.
Awesome. Well, be sure to check out Brew Vallon
Yes.
where you can. Follow him on socials, as you saw across the bottom of the screen down there, to keep up with everything that he is doing.
Indeed.
We ourselves have a couple things coming down the pipeline.
Indeed.
Yeah. So next week we have an interview with Mark Raspa Jr.
Indeed.
Of Monster Factory fame. So we
Yes.
are super excited whenever we can get a hold of somebody from the Monster Factory world, and we get to chat it up with them a little bit. Another huge Philly sports fan, big
Yes.
Eagles fan. So that's going to be exciting to talk about. So we will have him next week. While you're waiting for that, you can check out our last week's episode with Crummels and Defarge, which to say, okay, so we talk about shenanigans, we talk about things going off the rails.
Shenanigans.
To say that this one was full of shenanigans and off the rails is an understatement. This is probably one of our most unintentionally fun episodes we've ever had. So definitely check that out while you're waiting for next week's episode. And you can also check out our latest episode of Wrestling with Life
Yes.
with commentator Scott Holiday. If you've seen any high tension wrestling shows, any LVAC shows, Labor of Love, all that kind of stuff. If you know wrestling on the Eastern Coast, you've probably seen Scott Holiday somewhere. So we had a chance to sit down and talk some wrestling with him. So definitely check that out as well when you while you're waiting for next week's episode.
Indeed.
So with that, Brew, it's been phenomenal having you on the show. We appreciate your time.
I had a great time.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And we will have to have you we'll have to have you back again at some point for the Opinion City Butt Rock Spectacular.
Yeah.
We'll host like an online Opinion City Butt Rock Festival.
Right.
And we'll bring you and Junie in.
Filming on location at a beach, huh?
On location at a beach, yeah.
That's a great idea. All right. We're gonna hold you to that. We're gonna get you guys to a beach and we're gonna film it from there. The Opinion City Butt Rock Festival coming soon to a beach near you. All right, buddy. Thanks for joining us, and we'll be talking to you in a few minutes. All right. Well, Sean, another fantastic episode. I love having people on the show that are just fun and a good time.
Yes.
Like, and I feel like we gravitate towards those people, you know,
the fun ones.
Yeah, we do. So again, it's been great having Brew Vallon on the show.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you joining us. We appreciate your support. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate every one of you for everything that you do for us. We wouldn't be able to do this without you. Nope. And we do this for you because we love talking wrestling and we love introducing wrestlers to you. So we thank you for joining us this week on Opinion City. And with that, Sean, I think we're out.
This is Ultimo Ann here. You're listening to Opinion City Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.
Happy trails till we meet
Hey, thanks for watching this presentation. Like, share, and subscribe for more.